Hi there, this is Pete with How to Prep. I was just doing a video a little while ago where I was talking about how I've been storing water in 2-liter sterilized soda bottles, and it got me thinking about some of the other sources of water that you have in your house that you may not realize right now, or you probably do and just haven't thought about it. But I wanted to go over a few of them. Let's take a scenario where all of a sudden all the power goes off in the city, and you've been without water, or you've been without power for, say, 2 days. You've gone through all the drinks that were in your refrigerator, everything's starting to go bad in there, and you're starting to think, geez, you know, I'm going to need some clean water to drink and bathe and use the restroom and things of that nature. So where can you find some water inside your house that's already sitting there and just waiting for you to use it? Now, if the power's going off and you know that something's going on, say the emergency broadcast system goes off and says, you know, solar flare activity is taking out the eastern seaboard, or you know, a terrorist attack has done this or that. You know that something pretty serious is going on. Now you may know that or you may not know that. Maybe you walk outside and you see there's huge wildfires or an earthquake or something of that nature. If you see that something's going bad, one of the first things that you should be thinking about is, where am I going to get drinking water from? How am I going to store that water? If you drink soda, I wouldn't use milk cartons, because milk cartons have bacteria in it and you can't really clean them sufficiently. You shouldn't store drinking water in that. But if you have soda bottle containers, those are relatively easy to clean out with just some Clorox bleach, unscented Clorox bleach, nothing in it, just regular old bleach. You can sterilize them with that. But where are you going to find water? So number one, if something's going on and you know that something's going on, one of the first things that I would do is I would go and start filling up all my bathtubs as fast as I could. I would just turn on the water and let them go right to the top and leave that water in there. You may need that water to live off of. You're probably going to have to sterilize that water later on, but you will have that water, because if all the power goes off and the pumping stations go down, you are not going to have water being pumped to your house anymore. So you're going to have to forage for water somehow. So a regular tub will hold anywhere from 65 to 100 gallons of water. Some of the soaking tubs, you know, the bigger tubs, will hold even more water. So if you know that something's going down, start finding ways to store some water, and that's one way of doing it. Another thing that you can look at is your hot water heater. When the power goes off, you're not going to have access to hot water, but you have a large container, 50 to 100 gallons of water inside that container. You can take and either use small buckets, and on the bottom of every one of them there's a pressure release valve. So you can unscrew that pressure relief valve and drain the water out of it and store that water or drink that water, and that's a great resource for getting water. Another one, which is unsavory, but it is a source of water, and believe me, if you get thirsty enough, you won't think it's so unsavory. But in the tanks, the back of your toilet is a toilet tank, which fills with fresh, clean water every time you flush the toilet. So you can open up those toilet tanks and you can take and drain the water out, filter it. But each one of those tanks holds about 5 gallons of water. So if you have 2 or 3 toilets in your house, there's another 10 to 15 gallons of water that you can tap into and get water. I've watched another video where another way of getting water is to tap into your existing plumbing in your house and go to the lowest sink that you have in your house, and open up, start at the top of your house, open up the valves, the sink valves, you know, to turn on the water up there, and you won't have any water pressure, obviously, because water isn't being pumped into your house, But if you then go to the lower sinks in your house, that air rushing in through the top floors will allow the water that's in the pipes to drain out of that sink. So have buckets ready that are food safe, and take and store that water. And you're probably better off to do this sooner rather than later, because over time gravity will take and keep pulling that water further and further down. So my suggestion would be that if you know that something's going on and you think for any reason that it might be a long-term thing, get the water as quick as you can. Just go and find it. Try and make sure that it's as safe as possible. Usually you're pretty safe inside your own home. If you have to go out and start getting into ponds and streams and things like that, then you have a lot of other nasties that you have to worry about. But the water that's in your home, in your water tank, in the back of your toilet, in the tank of your toilet, in your own pipes, has already been treated by the water treatment plant. It already has chlorine in it. It's already been filtered. So that would be my first choice for getting and storing water. And then when you run out of that, then you're going to have to go to more drastic measures for finding water. So just a few examples. I'm sure there's a lot more places in your house that you could find water. If you think of any, leave them in the comments section below. Thanks. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you next time.